McInturff Architects is a medium-sized, 8-person firm in suburban Washington, D.C. We're in Maryland. We work out of, I have 2 houses. I live in one and I work in the other, and they're next to each other. So it's almost a family feeling of people, of 8 people. I think we built our reputation on houses, but it's evolved to other things.
Can you describe the house in Chevy Chase?
Sure. That was a very interesting project because there was an existing room there that had been built as a photographer's studio that was a little bit of an unusual size room for a residential application because it was 32 feet by 32 feet, which is big, and had an 11-foot ceiling because it was a photographer's studio. And but it was inwardly focused because natural light is not desirable in a studio. But our clients didn't need a studio. They bought the house with the studio and said, okay, let's make it into a family room of some sort. Generally, we work in a very iterative way, which we do a certain amount of work, show it to the client, a certain amount of work, show it to the client, and it unfolds over time because we don't know where it's going. In this, the first set of drawings I did were what we did, were what we built, because there was really very little to do, but what we did was I thought the right moves. I mean, this is almost an old farmhouse. In fact, I actually think it may have preceded the houses around it. And in that era, the backyard was never seen as a garden space. You know, houses really sort of addressed the porch and the street, but never the side or the back. It was the first time that this house, I think, ever really began to acknowledge the fact that it has a double lot. It's a house on a lot with another lot next to it, and this room opens to that other lot, this other part of the garden, and gives it a generosity that you find rarely in this kind of neighborhood. Adapting this function into that room left a kind of generous amount of space around it, so it's a very kind of airy kind of room. It's actually in some ways made me rethink the size of some other rooms that we've done, because we all have assumptions about how big something should be. And sometimes that's wrong. Sometimes they should be bigger, sometimes they should actually be smaller. We might be doing a house at the beach, and it might be very different from a house we do in the mountains, and it's very different from a house we do in the city. And even though all of them have kitchens and dining rooms and bedrooms, they're very different because of where they are.